Mr. Love here. I am going to show you today a little bit about how to get started with the Desmos calculator. The Desmos calculator is free. It is just a website. So if you go into any browser, I'm using Edge right now, and you type in Desmos, desmos.com, hit enter. The one that we're going to use primarily for this class is going to be the graphing calculator. You can see that there's a lot of other things here. You can also sign up and make an account if you'd like to save things. We're not going to bother with that because we don't need to, but if you want to, if you would like that, I can either make another video, I can show you. You just have to ask really quick. You can see in here there's a graphing calculator, scientific calculator, four-function calculator, there's geometry stuff, and matrix calculators. The matrix calculator is one of the better ones if you start doing things with matrices in linear systems. So I just want to point that out while we're here. If you just go to desmos.com, you can bookmark it if you'd like in the different browsers. In your address bar there's usually a way to add it, and you can either add it to your bar or somewhere. For this class I highly recommend having it because we'll use it quite a bit. If you go ahead and click on graphing calculator, then it pulls up this really nice set right here where you've got your coordinate plane on the right. On the left you have lines that you can type in different equations or computations. So this is just a regular calculator. I can type in 2 plus 3 on my keyboard, and it'll tell you right here the answer is 5. So this is just a basic calculator. If you don't like to type on your keyboard, then you can come down here to where it says show keypad, and I can do the exact same thing. So if I click in this next line and I want to say 2 times 3, then you'll see right here, you don't even have to click equals. It spits it out right there for you. If you don't want to do basic computations, then you can do things like 3x, and it will graph that for you. You can see right over here. I'm going to go ahead and hide this because I do type it. Right here, this is the line 3x. I could have typed y equals 3x to make it an equation. I could have said f of x equals 3x and made it a function. Over here, I can click to either show it or hide it. If I want to change colors or the way something looks, I can click this gear icon right here, and that'll let me change different things. I can change the color, whether it's dashed or dotted, how big the line is, the type of the line. There's all sorts of different things that I can change in here in the settings if you want it to look a specific way. You can also go to the plus symbol, and if you go up to the plus symbol, then you can either type in expressions, make yourself a note. That's where if you have multiple lines that you're going to be entering and you don't want something over on the graph, you can type this line represents the amount that I'm earning per hour. That way you can tell what each line is. Something that we'll use a lot in class is if you click the table, then you'll notice x1 and y1, it's going to give you points, and we can very quickly plot points. For instance, if I wanted to point 2, 4, I can type in 2 and 4 here, and it'll pop up over here. And it's in red because this is red. If I went up to the gears, just like last time, then I could change all of this. I can also type in here, so if I wanted this to be x2 and y2, I can make that happen. I'm not going to mess with it right now, though. Now, for this lesson, you'll be using regression lines. If you remember, we have used regression lines in the past. I just want to throw this out there right quick. If I type in y1, it automatically pops down like that. Then if I type a tilde, a little squiggle, mx1 plus b. Hopefully you recognize y equals mx plus b is just the slope-intercept form of a line. This is exactly the same, but instead of x and y, I have y1 and x1. So it's reading from my table. The little tilde right here just tells Desmos, hey, I'd like you to spit this out for me. And it'll spit out an equation, it'll match it for you. I can put other points on this line. So if I wanted to point 3, 8, it adjusts for me. Now it's going to graph through both of those. If I click over here in the graph, and move around, I can adjust what I'm seeing. More, over here, I have a bunch of different settings. I can zoom in with the plus, I can zoom out with the minus. I can click home and it returns me to the most basic 10 to 10 and 6 to 6. I can also click on the little wrench and I can adjust all sorts of things in here. As you get into higher levels of math, there's more adjustments we can make. For now, look down here. This is the X axis. You can change how far you want it to go. Right now it goes from negative 10 over to 10. And the step size is by whatever we want. So if I wanted it to go by 3s, you'll notice now it's showing negative 9, negative 6, negative 3. All the lines are still there, but it's only labeling those. I could do the exact same thing with the X and Y. Lock viewport is just so that you don't drag it around and accidentally move things. Degrees and radians, again, we'll get to that as later on we get into geometry classes. So, this is the most basics for Desmos. The other thing that I will show you, because it will come in handy, you can also, oops, don't do that. I can also add an image to my graph. So, I have some images ready for us to practice. I downloaded this from just images. I typed in projectile motion. This little dude is throwing this object, and this is the path that it takes. So I can click on this image, and now I can adjust it however I want. I can stretch it out. I can stretch it and make it bigger like this. I can click this, oops. I can click the center and drag the whole thing. So if I wanted it to look like it was starting at the origin right there, I could drag it right there. And then I could try and model this path with equations and things over here. Now, I can exit out of any line. I can exit out of my table, exit out of my graph, exit out of my regression formula using these X's rather than having to delete. And again, all of this is free. It's a wonderful alternative if you don't have a calculator. It's also easy to type into, and it's very pretty with all the different colors and everything, so it really helps you visualize things. So hopefully this helps you get started using the Desmos calculator.